Hello everybody and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a pretty good lineup for you guys. I think we have 5 first appearances, 4 honorable mentions, so 9 titles on to go through. There's definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, ending May 9th, 2025. First up from DC Comics, Absolute Superman number 7. This features the first full appearance of the Absolute Brainiac. Now, like we always mention with this Absolute series from DC Comics, anytime they introduce a new Absolute version of a character, it can be an existing character or a new character altogether. These are books you definitely want to have in your collection. This Absolute series, especially the Absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, these books are huge with collectors. People love this series. And like I said, anytime there's a first appearance of a new character or an Absolute version of an existing character, these are books you definitely want to have at the cover price. This collection has been incredibly successful. So this is one we do think you should definitely pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Star Wars number 1. This features the first appearance of Kesran Omovar. This here is also the premiere issue of the 4 Star Wars series. Now this is one we definitely think you should pick up and add to your collection. You know, we always recommend picking up the first appearance of new characters in these Marvel published Star Wars titles, but this here is also the premiere issue of Volume 4 of Star Wars, the standalone title series. These are books you definitely want to have in your collection at the cover price. You know, Star Wars, still a huge IP, huge fan base, huge collector base, and you don't really know where they're going to pull characters for any of the new small screen or big screen projects. They've been pulling a lot of characters from these modern comics, so you don't want to miss out at the cover price. Like I said, this here does have the first appearance of this Kesran Omovar character. So this is another one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Storm number 8. This features the first team appearance of Agent Fabia and the 3 agents. You know, we typically always recommend picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles. That being said though, this Storm title series, this is definitely not one of Marvel's stronger or more heavily collected title series. So the fact that they're bringing this team into this title series, we really know how important that's going to be long term. And since this here is the first team appearance, if this team consists of already existing characters or characters that have already had their first appearance in this title series, then this is one you can probably skip on. Like I said, Storm, definitely not a heavily collected or popular title series, so the fact they're introducing this team into this title series definitely isn't giving it a lot of strength. So this is one definitely going to be a little more speculative. Like I said, still a first team appearance on a Marvel title, maybe worth picking up the spec on, so grab this here for a spec if you can. Next up from Marvel Comics, Ultimate Wolverine number 5. This features the first appearance of Ultimate Sabretooth. Another one you should definitely pick up for your collection. You know, this Ultimate series from Marvel Comics, just like the Absolute series from DC Comics. Anytime they bring a new character in this series, it could be the ultimate version of an existing character or a brand new character entirely. Anytime they bring a new character in this series, these are books you definitely want to have at the cover price. This series has been incredibly popular with fans and collectors, so you definitely don't want to miss the first appearance of new characters, even if it is a returning character like Sabretooth. So this one here is another one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, XMen number 16. This features the first full appearance of the Santo Marco 6. This is Schwarzschild, Galactia, Juice, Psychovore, Constellation, and Time Bomb. There was a cameo in issue number 1. We have mentioned this in previous videos. Now that Marvel Disney have the cinematic rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four, anytime they introduce new characters into these 2 franchises, these are books you probably want to pick up and add to your collection. And whenever they introduce new characters, this X-Men standalone title series, or the Uncanny X-Men title series, those are typically the series that you want to focus on when they introduce new characters into that particular universe. Those are the 2 title series that are most heavily collected, and that's typically where they're going to bring their more important characters. So this here one does feature the first full appearance of the Santo Marco 6. Don't really know how important those characters are going to be in the future, but like I said earlier, typically worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles, and like I said, now that they are producing a lot more content for the X-Men and Fantastic Four franchises, you don't want to miss out on this for the cover price. So this is another one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And now for the honorable mentions. From Marvel Comics, All New Venom number 6. This features the origin of the all-new Venom. Now, we mentioned this also in previous videos. Origin stories aren't really as heavily collected as they used to be. Typically, people focus on their first full appearances. Even first cameo appearances aren't as heavily collected as they used to be years ago. So the fact that this here features the origin of the all-new Venom, don't really know how collectible that's going to be in the future, but it is the origin story of a new character that people do seem to like. People do like the all-new Venom. So this one here, in our opinion, is probably still worth picking up at the cover price. Because you also have to consider, just because origin stories aren't really hot right now, heavily collected now, doesn't mean 10 years from now people aren't going to want them, especially if people aren't really collecting them now. Having these origin stories will definitely give you a leg up. So this one here is probably worth picking up for your collection at the cover price. go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Image Comics, Blood and Thunder #1. Blood and our Talking Gun Thunder go on a bounty hunter mission for the galaxy's most dangerous criminal that causes secrets about her past, present, and future to surface. Now, we put this on the list because this one here sounds like it can easily lend itself to a small screen, big screen project. And Image Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past. Like we always mention to you guys, being option alone is typically enough to kick up the price. They don't actually have to make it to the screen. And like I said, this one in here does sound easily translatable to a streaming service or feature film. So in my opinion, this is a great spec. It is speculative because you are specking on this actually going to pick up an option, getting a lot more attention to this title, getting a lot more eyes on this title series, and having collectors race back to the secondary market to find this issue. If that doesn't happen, you may be out $3 or $4, but if it does and this book goes big, you're in it to cover price, that's definitely where you want to be. So in my opinion, it's a great spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. Next up from Image Comics, Free Planet #1. The first completely free planet in human history has won its independence, and now a group of revolutionary heroes must defend the planet's unique energy source from hostile intergalactic powers while determining what complete freedom actually entails. Once again, it sounds like it can easily translate to a small screen, big screen project, and like I just mentioned, Image Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past. This one here has also had a lot of industry chatter, so typically when there's a lot of chatter in the industry prior to release, these are books you definitely want to pick up and own when they come out. Now, this will be speculative, because like I said, you are specking on this getting picked up an option, but in my opinion, this is a great spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. And finally, from Darkhorse, Los Monstrous #1. A hard-boiled detective investigates a missing vampiress in a city populated entirely by classic monsters. Once again, sounds like it can easily translate to a TV show, streaming series, or feature film. And just like Image Comics, Darkhorse has had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past. So this one here, once again, will be speculative. Sounds like a great spec in my opinion. Grab this here for a spec if you can. So there you have the 9 titles we have for you guys this week. There's definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So please feel free to drop me some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.